All too often, children are told or shown information, and then they are rewarded based on how well they can memorize and repeat back that information. The only problem is there is no room for thinking here. We want to foster in our children the ability to think for themselves and to think critically. So, how can you, as a homeschooling mom, ensure that your child develops these critical thinking skills? Critical thinking is that ability to think for ourselves. Even if somebody shows us something or tells us something, we have the confidence and the ability to ask questions about it, to think about how that relates with what we already know, and then to draw in different areas of the world and bring those together in application. This is a higher form of thinking, and we can start teaching our children this right from when they are young. This is all about teaching our children how to think, how to ask questions, how to make observations, and it's all about teaching them how to have confidence in creating their own thoughts for themselves. I mean, how often do we as homeschooling moms unknowingly teach our children the right way to do or think about things? Because that's how we naturally do or think about things. And our children want to grow up to please us, and they want to learn how we do things. So it's really important that we teach them how to think for themselves because they are independent, they are autonomous, and this will allow them to really flourish as they go into their own adulthood. I know, it is really a fine line because we don't even realize we're doing this half the time. And this is why I developed this channel, because I support homeschooling moms to find the freedom to reflect who you are as a family through the way that you teach so that you can deepen your connection with your child. You can find out more about me and what I do over at homeschoolteachingsimplified.com. You need to know how to draw out critical thinking from your child if it's important for you that they know how to confidently express themselves. If you do not want your child to just go through life, but to really experience life and to question their experience so that they can really interact and feel with their surroundings, then critical thinking is going to be a very valuable piece to foster in your child. It's no longer about the black and the white. The gray scale is so vast, and critical thinking really hits on that gray zone here and about what it means to change our minds in light of new information that we learn. So the next time that your child is questioning you and you are feeling a little bit like your back is getting up here, remember that it's not about them being defiant or disrespecting you. Asking questions is one of those baseline aspects of critical thinking, and you want your child to develop the safety of asking questions, to know that it's okay to lean into those things, that they have the freedom to wonder and question what is going on around them. To make a challenge every once in a while is a really positive way for them to develop their own thinking skills. Your child needs to feel comfortable exploring, knowing that they're not going to get in trouble for it. All right, there's the what and the why. Let's now look at the how. How can you foster critical thinking? Well, the first way is piggybacking off that last idea, and that is having your child ask questions, having them start to reflect on what they just learned or what they just heard or saw, having them think about their thinking. Really, it's all about thinking. When they can make those reflective responses, this is really important for them, solidifying their own personal independence with that learning process. It's how it clicks in their own brain. You can do this by setting up times that are set apart for reflective thinking. So maybe journaling after a learning experience, what went well, what they still don't understand, what they are totally not on board with, or what they still have questions about. This reflective component and asking questions and thinking about it is the first step to critical thinking. The second tip that I have for you is to make sure that you are exploring two different perspectives. Not only does this kind of force your child to look at something from multiple points of view, it also encourages empathy and an awareness for the differences that we hold as people. Not everybody thinks the same way, and that is a good thing. We need to feel comfortable learning about how other people think about things. You may remember some of the videos I made about the multiple intelligences and how different people think about things from a different way. And so when we can appreciate those differences and start to acknowledge and recognize that and work together in spite of those differences, we can have such a more powerful future together. And the third tip that I have for you is your ability to ask questions. I've spoken so many times about open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are different than a closed question. Think of a closed question like a right or wrong, yes or no, definite answer kind of thing. Did you have fun at the zoo today? Yes. It doesn't really draw out thinking. An open question, though, does force your child to say and think a little bit more. So instead of asking them, did you have fun at the zoo today? You could ask them, which tasks do you think are most enjoyable for a zookeeper here? And that will start to get them thinking about what the options are and what they might like the best. And then maybe a sibling has a different idea and you get these different perspectives on it. When your child needs to formulate a response, this is where the critical thinking develops. This is especially important for older children in middle school and high school. Have them start to write out a full sentence or a paragraph response that is reflecting on something that they learned. We want to be giving them opportunities to share their independent thought. I mentioned earlier that it is really easy to start to tell our children how to think, to model for them the way that we do things and think about things in life. It's really overwhelming for us as homeschooling moms when we try to get them to think like us. So be really open-minded here as your child starts to explore what they think and why they think that, because it may not always match up with how you think about things. If you are feeling this kind of overwhelm of that process and you are looking for more information about how you can teach your child these higher level thinking skills and not get overwhelmed in the process of it, well then I would love to invite you to a free workshop that I have, 3 secrets to revamp your homeschool approach and unlock deeper connection with your child. Check out homeschoolteachingsimplified.com/free workshop to learn more and sign up for that now. Have you heard the saying that the only constant in life is change? So we need to know how to adapt our thinking and teach your children to adapt their thinking to change in light of new information, to know those skills that are needed to consider whether that is something worthy of making a change for. If this video on critical thinking was valuable to you, I would love for you to join us for the next one. Please hit that subscribe button so that YouTube knows to show you when it comes out. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.